is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him in
I am strong, I am invincible,
Dave Pickup Artist. Hello, vinyl community. Dave the Pickup Artist with you for another action-packed round of this week's pickups. Not a bad week. We picked up a few records, a couple whole fills, and a reissue. The
like a normal person.
Reissue I got is Ill Wind Flashes. This is a Boston psych band. There's a lot of Boston psych bands around the time this came out. This is 68. They were formed in the early 60s. They had several lineup changes. And they're also featured in the Psychedelia book by Richard Morton Jack. Now, these guys had a hard time getting a record deal because they refused to do covers. They wanted to be original. And so that's why it took a couple years for them to score a record deal. They would open up for, like some of the other Boston bands, they would open up for the big British invasion bands that would come, and they would open for them. The Who, they opened up for The Who. They said Keith Moon was inebriated the entire time and knocked over their drum set during his, the end of the show. They did The Who, and let it go with the destruction. But yeah, this is a great album. It's got a little bit of everything on it. Folk psych, some deep psych on it, and they do a cover of High Flying Bird. It seems like all the bands that had female and male lead singers did a cover of High Flying Bird, but that's the label. And this came with a Ill Wind history booklet, which I've read.
She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
This gang is still alive. All the members are still alive, and they have a website, and there's a lot of information about this band on the internet. Yeah, Ill Wind, check them out. Last week I had Ill Wind from eating at Chipotle's. Next, Tuesday I was in Sugar Bears. I dug in and found a Tim Buckley album I didn't have. It's hard to pronounce. Schizophrenia.
Dark nipple.
This is Tim's 8th and his 8th album and his second last album. This finds Tim in 1973. In the 70s, he went from in the 60s, he was kind of like a folk psych singer, songwriter. And as the 70s approached, he kind of changed it up a little bit. He went into a more funk, soul type thing. But this has kind of got a little bit of everything. It's got the folk psych and the soul. It's not a bad album, but a lot of people don't like this album for some reason, but it's not terrible. It's not his best album though, by far. It's on the Discreet label, same as Frank Zappa. Yeah, if you want to get into Tim Buckley, I would definitely start with the 60s albums, like the one we're listening to right now, Happy Sad. Terrible cover condition, but as you can hear, the vinyl's not too bad. This is a great Tim Buckley album. All of his 60s albums were. I haven't heard all of his 70s albums, and there's also a lot of compilations and live stuff that's coming out on him. He was, this came out in 73. In 1979, he was celebrating the end of his tour, current tour with his band, and they were, drinking and carrying on, and he snorted some heroin. He wasn't really a heroin addict, but he was hedonistic, and he snorted heroin, and it was a little bit too much, and they weren't able to revive him the next morning when his, I think, girlfriend or wife found him in a antique store, one near San Marco, and I scored this album. The Fugs' first album, 1965.
I went to a party the other night. I wanted to feel my brain was light. I grabbed myself a bottle and I started drinking wine. I thought pretty soon I'd be feeling fine. I couldn't get high. Couldn't get high.
These guys were a New York underground band, kind of like garage psych. Now musically they weren't that good. They were scene makers though. They'd show up everywhere. They always hit the anti-war protests and the New York scene. These guys even worked with
A normal person.
I don't know who it was, but yeah, I think they were all Jewish, and they were the first band to kind of get away with the raunchy lyrics. I think they were, anyway, but yeah, we've got tracks like Boobs a Lot, and I Feel Like Homemade Shit. So, yeah. And this is in 1965.
This is my point with these people.
But yeah, these guys were, they weren't that good, but these albums are like curios. It's fun to listen to these things. They do Supergirl, but it's not the Donovan Supergirl. It's a kind of a raunchy send-up, but yeah, an interesting band. It's on the weird label, ESP Disc, which I'm not familiar with. But yeah, glad to add it. They had other albums after that. They were kind of all over the place, so musically and politically. And yeah, that's about all I've got. This Sunday is a record show. I think it's at UNF, I believe. Could be wrong about that, but yeah, looking forward to that, and I will be showing my haul from that next week.
Like a normal person.
Take care, everyone.